PSVR2 launches on February 22 for $550. But what about PSVR2 games? As we get closer to release on February 22, Sony is unveiling more and more of the PSVR2 games arriving at launch and beyond. Besides official announcements, there's plenty of rumored PSVR2 games as well. Here's our full list. Part 2. Hubris. Developers Cyborn announced that a PSVR2 version of its upcoming sci-fi action-adventure game Hubris will arrive on the platform in 2023.
I can pick you all up, assuming you find Agent Sienna. And I lost contact with the troopers when they entered the cave over there on the left.
Swordsman VR. Shin Studios' melee combat simulator Swordsman VR will be a launch day release on PSVR2. The Dark Pictures, Switchback VR. This horror-themed rollercoaster shooter will be a launch day title for PSVR2, taking advantage of the headset's unique features such as adaptive triggers and eye tracking.
Even in these streets, you can't stop me. I want you let me in. I want you let me in. And everywhere that you've been, I want to know I want you let me in. I want you let me in. I'm already in these streets, cause I'm the best. I want to know the guys to
Crossfire, Sierra Squad. Crossfire, Sierra Squad is an upcoming arcade shooter, spun off from popular FPS title Crossfire. It will feature over 60 campaign missions and 40 different weapons when it launches in summer 2023 for PSVR2. The Light Brigade. From Funktronic Labs, the developers of Fuji, comes a new single-player roguelike that will see you join the ranks of the titular Light Brigade and play through procedurally generated battlegrounds with realistic physics-based gunplay and spells. It will release on PSVR 2, as well as Quest 2, in Q1 2023.
Into the Valley of Death. Road the 600.
Cities, VR, Enhanced Edition. After releasing on Quest 2 earlier this year, Cities, VR is coming to PSVR 2 at launch next February. This game brings the full Cities, Skylines experience into VR, for better or worse. According to the PlayStation blog, this enhanced edition will use the PS5's horsepower to bring great detail and ensure a smooth experience when observing new cities from all levels. We're looking forward to stacking this version of the game up against the Quest 2 version early next year. Cosmonious High. Esteemed VR studio Alchemy Labs will bring its latest release, Cosmonious High, to PSVR2 as a launch title in 2023. This version of the game will add a tracking support and real-time shadows. It will also take advantage of the unique force feedback hardware in the Sense controllers and PSVR2 headset, so that players will be able to feel elements like wind and water as they interact with the environment. Hello Neighbour, Search and Rescue brings the viral flat-screen franchise into VR, launching on PSVR and PSVR2 at launch next year, alongside a same-day release on PCVR. Steel Wool Studios are handling development, after launching popular VR title Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted in 2020. Pistol Whip. Pistol Whip is coming to PSVR2 and bringing support for a bunch of the headset's new features and capabilities. According to Lucas Sitensky from Cloudhead Games, the Sense controller haptics will you to feel the rush of a bullet grazing your head, the clicks of reloading your gun, and more realistic vibrations when firing. Pistol Whip will also support 3D audio on PSVR2 and will feature faster load times and scene transitions thanks to the PS5 solid-state drive, SSD. The PSVR2 version of Pistol Whip will be a free upgrade for owners of the original PSVR version. Zenith, The Last City. The VR MMO Zenith will be available as a launch day title for PSVR2. Since launching on other platforms earlier this year, Zenith developers Ramen VR have added a bunch of new content and changes to the experience, all of which will carry over to the new PSVR2 version. This includes an overhaul of the new player experience, updates to graphics with crisper textures and higher definition models, lifelike grass, realistic shadows and lighting, and more. Zenith will also use PSVR2's headset and Sense controller haptic feedback, along with adaptive triggers for weapon effects. The PS5's SSD will also improve load times by 2.5x on average compared to any other platform. Freestar. The PSVR2 version of Zenith will be available as a launch title, free for players who already own Zenith for the original PSVR headset. After the Fall. After the Fall is coming to PSVR2 in 2023. Vertigo Games is adding support for Sense controller haptics and adaptive triggers in this version of the game. Plus, it will continue to support full cross-platform multiplayer, so PSVR2 players will be able to play with other After the Fall players on any other VR platform. For owners of After the Fall on PSVR, the PSVR2 version will be a free upgrade.
We use it when this big juggernaut, he grabs you and he hits you, you really...
We had more players joining the fray, and if you're a new player jumping in on After a Fall, then there is an established community just ready.
Tentacular. An underrated gem on Quest, Tentacular will make its debut on PSVR2 next year with support for adaptive triggers and haptics on the headset and Sense controllers. It will also implement a tracking functionality across the game, allowing you to use your eyes to interact with La Calma residents in the game's menus.
The fearful asymmetry of the purple appendages hides an incomprehensible strength. Yet, in the monster, there is a sense. This tentacular island shows us how much common ground all living things share. We all seek a greater understanding of our world and of where we come from.
2MD,
Next up,
VR
we have some
Football
great news
Unleashed
for fans of
All-Star.
2MD VR
Nearly
Football
3 years after
and
2MD,
future PSVR2
VR
release.
Football
There's a
arrived
lot
on
to
Quest
unpack
and
here, so let me kick it over
PSVR.
to Em for
Truant
True
Pixels
Text
confirmed
for all
through
the details.
PSVR without parole that a sequel, 2MD, VR Football Unleashed All-Star, is coming to PSVR2. While there won't
Thanks,
be a
Em.
free
And if
upgrade
you
for
haven't
owners
played
of the
2MD
original
since the
game,
PSVR
there will be a
version,
discount of
there's
around
8
60 to
tons of upgrades that you haven't
70%.
seen yet,
No
including
release
fully
date has
realized
been
supported
confirmed,
battle on
but
PlayStation
Truant
VR2.
Pixels is aiming for
Let us know in the
PSVR2's
comments
launch.
below.
Across the Valley. Across the Valley is a new VR farming simulator from Fusion Play, where you'll maintaining crops and keeping the livestock happy. Announced at the Upload VR Showcase Winter 2022, we've only had a brief announcement trailer so far, but it's coming to both PSVR2 and PCVR in 2023. Altair Breaker. Confirmed via PlayStation blog, Sony announced Third vs. Altair Breaker joins an expanding lineup of PSVR2 launch games. A multiplayer sword fighting game, you and 3 other players will fight AI across an abandoned floating city. Behemoth. Following a brief teaser at Meta's annual Connect conference, Skydance Interactive confirmed its next game, Behemoth, is also coming to PSVR2. Behemoth sees you fighting monolithic beings in the face of a looming threat. Described as having brutal yet tactical VR combat that should arrive in late 2023.
Another breath. This struggle. But when the end comes for you,
Blacktop Hoops. Developed by Vinci Games, Blacktop Hoops is an arcade-style basketball game. Promising a full single-player campaign, online multiplayer, and more, it's currently in open alpha testing on Quest and Steam. However, a PSVR2 release was confirmed by the developer via Reddit back in April.
Oh, that's buckets for days. Oh my goodness, he took off in
En
yackle.
español se dice en fuego. Oh, smack that out of here. That is a pizza slice with extra vegan cheese.
Do Not Open. Originally planned for the original PSVR headset in 2021, Do Not Open released last month for flat-screen players on PC and PS5. As seen on the official website, developer Nox Noctis confirms PSVR2 support is coming, dropping Sony's older headset. However, it's unclear if this will be a free update to the existing game or require a separate purchase, and a release date remains unknown.
Chasing me. This is my home, but at the same time it's not. I have to get out of here. No matter how.
Someone, anyone, please help! Okay,